Alright guys, I'm back with part 2 of my build. It's the Axial Rift, and it's going to be kind of an unusual little character. Okay guys, this is where I left it at part 1. It's just an Axial Rift skid plate with LMT center chassis plates attached to it and some metal bars that I made up on top. So let's move on to where I'm at right now. Alright guys, I thought I'd show you the progress so far. I just kind of build and I don't film what I'm doing, but I went ahead and put some keys in because I had some keys to get the shocks up a little bit because I want the ride height to be pretty much level, you know, so so it gives me a little bit of adjustability. That's kind of nice. Put some supports in. I don't know if I'll leave them all in. Got my links on. Give you a little more top view of it, I guess. I'm not going to put the receiver box in here. I'm just going to have the receiver sitting out here somewhere. The battery will be up front, so I don't have to worry about getting to my receiver. It'll be nice and easy. But yeah, this is basically what it looks like. Okay, I'm back at it. I can't stop working on this thing. I need to get my battery tray in, so I might as well get that done. And what I'm doing here, you know, this is just hillbilly work, really. I'm taking a couple of 3/16 straps, and I think these are used like for AC guys use them and stuff to strap down their pneumatic lines or whatever they use them for. Not really used in electrical, but it would be nice to have a complete strap that looped over, but I don't have any of those, so 2 of these clamped together work just perfectly. And I'm just coming off a rod end and straight up and in. That'll give me my 45, but I think I'm going to change that because when you know, you can make your own rod ends, and what I use is I'll just use a rod end, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter, just a rod end. And then I'll just take, here you go, perfect example, a piece of 632. It doesn't, the plastic doesn't care because this hasn't been threaded yet. It's not a metric thread on these plastic rod ends. So anyways, you can just take 632 all thread or 832 if you're going to something bigger, or you can use metric, of course, no big deal if you have metric all thread. I don't have any metric all thread. So this, I'm gonna slice this tubing. This tubing is just irrigation tubing. I'm gonna slice it in appropriate spots, and I'm gonna take this length that I made and just put 2 of them in like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I got that. And then in the back, I think I'm gonna rotate these rod ends, and I think I'll take out this aluminum tubing because I might keep it in. I don't know, it doesn't look any better than the black tubing, and really the all thread is what holds the frame together. And just rotate those and just have eyelets coming in here. Slice this one too, slice this one too. Then I can droop this down a little ways. This will come up a little higher. I've got plenty of room for the ESC, but you know, yeah, might look better. We'll see. I think I'm going to skip the time-lapse install and just go with it and install it and then show it after I'm done with it. Of course, you know, 4 bolts to bolt that in, 4 bolts to bolt that in, a couple drive shafts, an ESC to drop down in there, servo to put up front. Pretty simple. I'll show it to you when it's all done. Okay, so I'm installing the drive shaft now. I'm just kind of looking over it, and as I compress the shocks, you can see the drive shaft doesn't really have a lot of play. That's kind of nice, really. Gives you a lot more connection to the spline, you know, a lot more surface area. Okay, I think this is what happens when you buy stuff that's, you know, aftermarket stuff. You end up having problems sometimes. So with this, my drive shafts are not able to go on because they just don't go back far enough. There's like a little shoulder on the end, and there's also a shoulder on the end of this shaft, so they're just bucking against each other. And it's just not quite going back far enough. I mean, I can get a pin through there, but I can't. There's no way I'm going to get that set screw into there. So I'm going to have to grind this down a little bit or do something to get it to go. I mean, it's real close, but it just won't go. I've struggled with it. All right, let's give it a shot. Okay, it's pretty obvious why they put that little step in there to keep the drive shaft from rubbing up against the housing of the axle. But on this axle, like I say, they've got that extra step in there, and even if I ground this down, it's not going to go back and hit against the axle or the bearing. So yeah, guess that's what I'll do. I'll just barely shave that down. Hate to do it on these. I can't remember what I paid for these, but they weren't cheap. But we'll do it. What the heck? Okay, let's see if this goes. It may. Oh, that's a lot better. Just takes just a little bit off there and it works. Okay. Well, when you spend $100 on axles, you know, I'm not complaining or anything. You're going to get what you get. If you probably went with Vidavon, you probably wouldn't have this problem. But I noticed that this disc brake is rubbing really bad on this side. On this side now, fine. I mean, it's free. But this side's rubbing really bad, so I better correct that. What's causing it? Oh, there, now it's freeing up. I'll fix it. I'm really struggling with this. I'm having a hard time getting this bolt to go all the way through and catch both these. I think these are upside down is what the problem is. I was having trouble from the beginning on that. But on my battery tray, I can just roll it up out of the way and I can get to everything inside. I don't know. It's getting there. I'll show it when it's done. Okay, let me show you some of the problems I ran into, and I'll go ahead and detail out the parts that I used to try to put this thing together with. This was like a complete set, lowers and upper links. But the upper links, the problem with them is that they rub right down in here and they just totally bind. They just totally bind up. So I'm using some other aftermarket ones that I got. I ended up getting like 3 sets. I got 2 sets of these from Integy, and they're for the Axial 10th Rift, I don't know. And then I got pretty much an identical set of those, but it came with the ball ends. And it was like, these were like $24 at the time, or I don't know, I'll have to find out what the price was, but they weren't that expensive. But these ones with the ends included, complete set, was like $11 or something. It was a lot cheaper than what these were. I don't know if they made a mistake or what. Something else that happened to me is on the discs on this rear axle, one of them is binding up really bad. I mean, I don't want to have to deal with carving it out and stuff, but when it's bolted down, I could shim it. I just don't think that they're just decorative, so I really don't care. Yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, and then using these aftermarket links here, these end up being the right length on the top, and these are fine at the bottom. They got a little bent angle to them, which is kind of nice, I guess. The angle looks a little bit off though. I'm really gonna have to experiment around. If I have to, I'll just use this set complete because it should work. But something wrong here, because the long one should be on the bottom and the shorter one should be on the top because they got a lot more distance to travel. But something I noticed is this drive shaft is basically, oh, it's binding up on me now, but it is, okay. Oh, it's hitting against the other drive shaft. It's going to have to be shortened a little bit because it's too long. It's just too long. So maybe by next year or by New Year I'll have this together. But I'll show it when it's done. All right, guys, I shortened the drive shaft, so cut a $30 bill in half. I think it'll work out okay because these are about the same length as what the other half is, so yeah, it should work out good. I already reamed that out on the inside, taper these out, and then it should work okay. I really didn't have that good of a servo for this thing. I don't know, I just had what I had. And I don't have a servo saver or nothing on there. But I pretty much got everything done, tested it out, everything works perfect. I mean, I don't know about perfect. It seems like it has a little bit of lag from forward to reverse. You would think it wouldn't, but it does. Okay, tested out all the electronics and everything. Pretty much all set up the way best I could do anyways. Kind of looks like a bridge that you use to cross over water with or something. But anyways, yeah. I don't know how the suspension is going to work out. I might have to shift it around a little bit. But let me get the tires on it. Let me get it running and you can check it out. I just thought you might want to look at it. Who knows? I don't know. That's what it looks like basically. Not getting a very good light on it. But anyways, yeah, that's it. That is it. Okay, here I'm just showing the 2 front axles from Axial Rift in the rear and an Axial Ryft up front. The Axial Ryft has a little bit larger hexes, a little bit, longer hexes for the wheels, and then the Rift, it's got a little bit wider wheelbase, just slightly, not much, but just slightly. I just thought I'd show you the two so you can kind of see and compare. The servo housing is a little bit nicer on the Rift too, I think. And I think the axles are going to probably be a little bit stronger, hopefully. So, should work out. Maybe I'll use the Ryft axles on some other small crawler or something. I'm not sure. Alright guys, there it is. Our little Axial Rift monster. Alright, let's run it around a little bit. I'm going to run on the cement a little bit first. Let's see if it even goes. It seems like it's got pretty good power with the DLS system in it. A lot of the steering, that's for sure. Honestly, it looks like it's going to be a good little car. I kind of wish I had different wheels for it. This is all I had, so what the heck. Take it down on a one-swing trail here. Not much of a trail. I'm just doing a little run. I'm not doing a big old run. Don't mind the shaking body on there. Hold on the side. Oh, what's all this? Walking backwards and walk into it. Seems to be driving fine, steering good and everything. Crossing over dog first just fine, no problem. Jesus, a lot of birds. This trail really doesn't go anywhere, I don't think. I mean, it does, but it's just a really narrow trail. It seems pretty easy to control. I can just get through this narrow path really easy. Especially when you don't know what you're walking into. Taking that little rip up the hill, see how it goes. A lot of rip up stuff here. Here we go. Whoa! Going. Bring her on back. Oh well. I can kind of tell this body's not going to last too long, the way it's mounted, but I think I'm going to go with an actual cage eventually, but I'm just playing with it for now. Sometimes this happens when you're doing a build. It looks like I must not have tightened that bolt on that one shock very well, so it came loose from the axle. No big deal. Don't have any hardware with me, but I figure that's good enough. kind of just showed you guys what I did with it. I'll get some different tires on it and get it out again and show it again. I guess I should show you some of the subtleties of the Rift axle. A normal wheel nut is usually what 7mm like this, you know. I'm just saying a normal one. This one is American Standard. It's 5/8. So to get these wheel nuts off, you need a 5/8 wrench, not a 7mm. 7mm won't go over the nut. Pretty interesting. Oh, and on the shock, it didn't. The bolt wasn't loose. It just pulled through the eyelet. It just ripped through it. Maybe I can get some better eyelets or something. I mean, these are, you know, some pretty nice hot racing shocks, and I think that's the second time that's happened on these shocks. So maybe different ends would help. All right, let's get back on it. I'm going to change out the tires and give it one more little run. Okay, there she is. She's sitting pretty level, not too bad at all. The only thing I can see is that the rear axle on this is tilting forward slightly, kind of like these links need to be lengthened, the top links on the rear, but everything else set up pretty good. I mean, this is going to be a crawler, so I don't want to destroy it, but I'm going to go ahead and run it around just here in the backyard. I might take a couple jumps, and that's about it. There. I think I might have slipped my steering a little bit. I don't have a servo saver like I said, so I don't know. Yeah, kind of tweak it. I'm not landing. Yeah, I think I should just really make this into a crawler and not bash it. But I think it'll make a good crawler. Just got to get some lower gears for it, probably. Some more jumps for you, buddy. It's going to be a crawler. I mean, I don't know. I would think that we'd be able to take it. I mean, Rift, man. I might have to get a cage for it and just make it into a Rift. But still, I want to make it a crawler. We'll bring the front end up. I mean, it doesn't have the motor that would come with the Rift. This is a 100, so if it had the 120, maybe it would perform a little differently. It rips around pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Alright guys, I think this is going to end the video. I had a great 2024 and I hope for a good 2025. Alright, you guys take care.